The stars above were quiet that night, cold and endless. From the deck of the human warship Odyssey, Captain Aaron stood alone, watching the empty dark. The battle had ended hours ago, but the silence that followed was heavier than any explosion. Out there, in the field of drifting debris, floated the broken pieces of another alien fleet, the Kether Dominion, once believed to be unstoppable. The ship's crew moved in silence, each of them haunted by what they had just done. Hundreds of alien ships, gone. Thousands of lives, erased in less than an hour. Humanity had won again. But even in victory, something about it felt wrong. Aaron's comms beeped. "Captain," said Commander Ruiz. "The Council of Species requests communication. They want to speak with you directly." Aaron took a deep breath. He already knew what this was about. The aliens had been whispering about humanity for years, about their violence, their wars, their strange ability to fight even when there was no hope. Some called it bravery. Others called it madness. Now, they wanted answers. Moments later, a holographic circle appeared in the center of the bridge. 7 alien leaders flickered into existence, tall, scaled, feathered, and strange. Their eyes glowed with suspicion and fear. A deep voice spoke first. It belonged to Varn of the Tkal Union, a reptilian species that had once fought humanity and lost. "Captain Aaron," he said slowly, "we have watched your people for centuries. You fight without mercy. You destroy without hesitation. Even when surrender would save you, you fight on. Tell us, why?" The room fell silent. Even Aaron's crew stopped what they were doing. Aaron looked at them, his tired soldiers, some still bleeding, some holding on to the memory of fallen friends. He turned back to the aliens. "Because," he said quietly, "we remember." Varn tilted his head. "Remember? Remember what?" Aaron's voice was calm, but heavy with emotion. "We remember what it's like to be weak. We remember the times when we had no power, when we were prey to stronger beings, nature, war, disease, even each other. We learned early that survival demands strength. Not cruelty. Not bloodlust. Strength." The council members looked at each other, confused. One of them, a scholar from the gentle Ilari species, leaned forward. "But you humans destroy entire worlds to prove that strength. You burn cities, you conquer empires, you make war even when peace is possible." Aaron's jaw tightened. "You call it destruction. We call it defense. Every time humanity built something, peace, hope, unity, someone tried to take it away. We fight because the universe keeps testing us. And we survive because we refuse to kneel." The bridge lights flickered. The hologram shimmered, showing alien faces filled with disbelief. "Do you even feel guilt?" asked another alien, her voice sharp like broken glass. "Do you not regret the blood you spill?" Aaron stepped closer, his shadow cutting across the hologram. "Every human soldier who fires a weapon feels guilt," he said. "Every one of us carries the weight of those we've killed. But guilt doesn't stop us from fighting. It reminds us that what we fight for must matter. That's why we keep going." Varn hissed softly. "So you fight because you must. But when does it end, human? When the stars themselves are yours." Aaron stared out at the void again. Pieces of alien ships still floated there, silent monuments to another war. "It ends," he said, "when no one tries to take our right to exist. When no child has to grow up fearing the sound of gunfire. When strength no longer decides who deserves to live." The council fell quiet. For a long moment, the only sound was the low hum of the Odyssey's engines. Finally, the Ilari scholar spoke again, softer this time. "Perhaps, we judged you too harshly. We thought humans fought for blood. But maybe you fight for something else." Aaron nodded once. "We fight for peace. It just happens that, for us, peace always starts with war." The transmission ended. The holograms vanished, leaving the bridge dark once more. Aaron stood there for a while, watching the empty stars. Down below, on the ruined planet's surface, Fire still burned where cities once stood. Rescue ships were already landing, not human, but alien. Together, they searched for survivors. For the first time in years, humanity wasn't seen as a monster, but as something else. Something the galaxy didn't yet understand. As the ship drifted silently above the world, Aaron whispered to himself, "Maybe one day, they'll see why we fight." But far away, in the deep dark between the stars, something else was watching. Something ancient. Something that had seen humanity's wars before, and was waiting for the day when mankind's fury would be turned toward it. The quiet didn't last long. Humanity's story was far from over. Hours turned into days since the battle ended. The Odyssey floated quietly near the ruins of the Kether fleet, repairing its systems and collecting survivors. Humanity's victory had echoed across the stars, but not everyone celebrated. In the deep black between galaxies, an ancient presence stirred, something that had watched empires rise and fall long before the first human spark of fire. It had no name in any living tongue, only whispers in forgotten data archives, the Archivum. It didn't speak. It observed. For thousands of years, the Archivum had catalogued civilizations, their wars, their creations, their final moments. But never had it seen a species quite like humanity. They were too new, too chaotic, too dangerous. From the shadows of a dying nebula, it focused its cold gaze upon the blue world called Earth. Captain Aaron didn't know any of that yet. He stood on the Odyssey's command deck, reviewing reports from the Council. The aliens had gone silent. Their transmissions carried no hostility now, only uncertainty. Some wanted peace talks. Others demanded humanity be restricted to its own systems. But something else worried Aaron more. A strange signal had appeared near the edge of human space, a steady pulse, too regular to be natural, too strong to ignore. Commander Ruiz entered. "Captain, that signal's still repeating. Every 32 seconds. But it's not using any known code." Aaron frowned. Could it be another Kether distress beacon? Ruiz shook his head. "No, sir. The power output is massive. If it's a distress call, it's from something huge." Aaron stared at the holographic star map. The signal came from a region marked only as the Grave of Stars, a place where ships vanished without a trace. "Prepare a scout team," Aaron said finally. "We're going to find out who's calling." 2 days later, the Odyssey approached the coordinates. The stars grew dim, hidden behind clouds of metallic dust and radiation storms. The crew felt uneasy, even the AI systems flickered like they were afraid. Then, they saw it. A structure the size of a moon floated before them. Not a planet, not a station, but something in between. Black as night, covered in shifting lights that looked almost like eyes. Ruiz whispered, "What is that?" Before anyone could answer, a voice filled the bridge. It wasn't a sound, it was inside their minds. Cold, vast, and ancient. "Humanity," it said. "Your violence echoes through the stars. Your wars reshape galaxies. We have watched. We have judged." The crew froze. Some grabbed their heads, others fell to their knees. The voice wasn't just speaking, it was showing them. Images flashed in their minds, Earth's burning cities, nuclear fire, soldiers dying in trenches, space battles tearing apart worlds. Aaron gritted his teeth, forcing himself to stand. "Identify yourself." The voice replied, calm and terrible. "We are the Archivum. We preserve the memory of all who have existed. We do not destroy. But your kind may force us to." Ruiz's voice trembled. "They're threatening us, Captain." Aaron's eyes hardened. "No. They're warning us." He faced the strange presence again. "You say you watched us. Then you know we fight for survival, not conquest." "We know your words," the voice said. "But your history says otherwise. Even among yourselves, you bring war. You turn progress into weapons. You create peace only to break it again. Why should we believe you will not do the same to the stars?" Aaron's chest tightened. He had no easy answer. Humanity's past wasn't clean, it was soaked in blood and ambition. But then, something inside him burned. Because we learn, he said fiercely. Every war we fight, every mistake we make, we remember it. We grow stronger because of it. You see violence. I see evolution. The silence that followed felt endless. Then, the archivum spoke again, quieter now. Perhaps. But understand this, human, we do not fear your weapons. We fear your will. No species fights like you. No species refuses extinction so completely. We have watched thousands die with dignity. You bite back. The lights on the ship dimmed. The crew could hear their own hearts pounding. Aaron's voice was steady. Then you know why we can't stop. If existence itself tests us, we fight back. That's who we are. We will test you then, the archivum said. Not with war, but with truth. If your species is as strong as you believe, survive what comes next. The stars around them flickered, and then vanished. The Odyssey was thrown into darkness, every system dead. Gravity failed, lights died, and the ship drifted in absolute silence. Panic spread through the crew. Consoles sparked, alarms failed to sound, and outside, the stars had simply disappeared. Aaron held onto his chair, his voice echoing through the dark. Stay calm. Back up power, now. But Ruiz's voice broke through, trembling. Captain, the stars aren't gone. They've been replaced. Aaron looked out the window, and froze. Where stars once shone, now hung enormous glowing symbols, alien, shifting, and alive. They moved like they were watching, studying, testing. And somewhere in that vast void, the archivum's voice whispered one final time. Show us what humanity truly is. The Odyssey drifted into the unknown, its lights fading, its crew surrounded by impossible shapes. And for the first time, Aaron realized, this wasn't just another war. This was judgment. The ship floated in darkness. No stars, no sound, no time. Only the faint breathing of frightened humans and the strange glow of alien symbols outside the glass. Captain Aaron tried to speak, but his voice felt swallowed by the silence. Systems were dead, power, communication, even life support. Only emergency lights pulsed dimly, painting the crew's faces with ghostly red. Commander Ruiz checked his wrist console, shaking his head. Everything's offline, sir. It's like the universe itself shut down. Aaron looked around. His crew, strong, loyal soldiers, now looked like lost children. He forced calm into his voice. We'll find a way out. We always do. But deep inside, even he wasn't sure. Then, a whisper filled the air. Soft. Cold. Everywhere at once. This is your truth, humanity. Let us see what you really are. The bridge vanished. Aaron blinked and found himself standing in the middle of a ruined city. Smoke covered the sky. Fires burned through shattered streets. Bodies, human bodies, lay scattered in the rubble. He looked down. His hands were covered in ash and blood. His uniform was gone, replaced by torn armor. He could hear crying somewhere behind him. Captain! A voice called out. He turned and saw Ruiz, alive but confused, standing beside him. Where the hell are we? Aaron recognized the skyline. No, it can't be. It was Earth. But not the Earth they knew. This was centuries in the past, during the last World War. Humanity's darkest age. Explosions thundered nearby. Tanks rolled through the ruins. Human soldiers fought other humans. No aliens, no invaders, just people killing people. The archivum's voice echoed through the burning sky. This is your legacy. You claim to fight for survival. Yet here, you destroy yourselves. No alien made you do this. Ruiz shouted at the sky. This was a mistake. That was our past. The past is truth, the archivum answered. You say you learn from it. Prove it. Aaron ran forward, pulling Ruiz behind him. If this is a test, we play it on our terms. They moved through the chaos, smoke, gunfire, screams. They found civilians hiding under broken concrete. Old, young, terrified. A small girl clutched a torn teddy bear, her face streaked with soot. Aaron knelt. "It's okay. We'll get you out." Her eyes widened. "But everyone's gone." He took her hand. "Not everyone." As they moved through the ruins, the Archivum watched, unseen, but everywhere. The city was a mirror showing humanity's worst moments. But in every corner of despair, there were also people helping each other. Soldiers carrying wounded enemies, doctors giving their last breath to save strangers, children sharing water amid the flames. Aaron stopped and shouted into the smoke. "You see this? This is humanity too. We destroy, yes, but we rebuild. We kill, but we also save. That's who we are." The air shuddered. The world flickered, and suddenly, the battlefield changed. Now they stood in space again, but not on the Odyssey. A massive fleet surrounded them, ships from hundreds of alien races. In the center, a burning sun-sized object pulsed with red light. "This was your future," the Archivum said. "A war that never happened, yet could. Humanity against the galaxy. Your species alone against all others." Aaron stared at the sight, millions of ships facing Earth's small armada. It looked hopeless. Yet he felt something stir in his chest. He whispered, "Even if this future came true, we'd still fight." "Why?" the Archivum asked. "Knowing you would lose?" Aaron's voice was steady. "Because losing isn't the same as giving up." For a moment, everything froze. The alien fleets vanished like mist, and Aaron found himself standing once again on the bridge of the Odyssey. Systems flickered back online, one by one. The stars returned. But something felt different. The Archivum's voice was softer now, almost curious. "We do not understand you," it said. "You destroy your own worlds, yet you protect others. You fear death, yet you run toward it. You are chaos, but you bring order. You are contradiction." Aaron smiled faintly. "That's humanity. We're the mess that keeps moving forward." The Archivum was silent for a long time. Then, faintly, "Perhaps the universe needs such chaos." The lights brightened fully. Life support returned. Crew members gasped as air filled their lungs again. Ruiz laughed shakily. "We're back. I think we passed the test." Aaron wasn't sure. He looked out at the stars. They seemed different now, almost watching. The Archivum's final words echoed faintly through the comms. "We will continue to observe. Do not prove us wrong." Then, silence. Aaron stood there, staring into the endless dark. Humanity had survived again, not through weapons or power, but through something else. Something no machine or alien could copy. Hope. But as the Odyssey turned toward home, far beyond the reach of any radar, another eye opened. Something older than the Archivum itself. Something that had not judged humanity yet, but soon would. The next war wouldn't be a test. It would be a reckoning. The Odyssey drifted quietly through the stars, its crew still shaken by what they had seen. The Archivum had disappeared, leaving only silence and unanswered questions. Captain Aaron sat in his quarters, staring at the holographic window that showed the stars outside. He could still hear the Archivum's voice in his mind, cold, ancient, uncertain. "Do not prove us wrong." Those words refused to leave him. He had faced war, death, and fear before, but this was different. Humanity had been judged, and somehow it had survived. But deep down, Aaron felt that something had changed in the universe. Something was now watching them. Commander Ruiz entered quietly. "Captain, we've completed system scans. Everything's back to normal." He hesitated. "Except one thing." Aaron looked up. "What thing?" Ruiz handed him a datapad. A strange pattern glowed on the screen, not language, not numbers, but something else entirely. We found this in our navigation logs, Ruiz said. It appeared the moment we left the archivum's space. We didn't record it, it just wrote itself into our system. Aaron studied the pattern. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. What does it mean? Ruiz swallowed hard. We don't know, sir. But the AI says it's alive. Aaron frowned. Alive. Before Ruiz could answer, the lights flickered, once, twice, then stabilized. The ship's AI, Eve, spoke softly. Captain, I have detected a foreign presence within our network. It is observing us. Aaron's eyes narrowed. Observing? Yes, Eve replied. And it is not the archivum. Somewhere beyond human space, deep in the cold void, a single massive eye opened. It was not made of flesh or metal, but energy, swirling light and ancient dust, older than galaxies. It blinked slowly, and with that blink, it saw the Odyssey. Its voice, if it could be called that, was like thunder underwater, a whisper that bent time itself. They survived the archivum. Interesting. From within its light, shapes began to move, vast, shadowy forms that looked like ships, but not built by hands. They grew out of light itself, stretching across the stars like veins. Humanity, the anomaly, the race that defies extinction. We will test them too. But not as the archivum did. They will not face illusion. They will face truth. The light pulsed, and space itself rippled like water. On the Odyssey, alarms screamed. Captain! Ruiz shouted. Something's forming right in front of us. No warp signature, no gravitational trail. The bridge windows filled with white light. Space twisted, and a gigantic shape appeared. Not a ship, not a planet, but something that looked alive. It moved like it was breathing, its surface rippling with energy. Aaron whispered. That's impossible. The AI's voice trembled for the first time. This entity predates all recorded civilizations. Even the archivum feared it. Its name appears in only one surviving record, the Ascendant. Ruiz turned pale. The archivum feared it? Eve replied, yes. The Ascendant does not judge. It consumes knowledge, entire civilizations, to understand them. When it is done, nothing remains. A voice echoed through the ship, shaking every atom. Humanity of Earth, your defiance has awakened us. Aaron stood, refusing to back down. We've already been judged once. We won't kneel again. The Ascendant's voice filled every mind on board, cold and vast. You misunderstand, human. The archivum tests. We harvest. You survived judgment. Now you will become part of us. Aaron clenched his fists. Over my dead body. That can be arranged. The ship shook violently. Lights burst, panels shattered, and gravity flickered. Outside, tendrils of pure light reached toward the Odyssey, wrapping around it like chains. Systems failed one by one. Ruiz shouted, shields are collapsing. Hull integrity at 60%. Eve, redirect all power to engines. Aaron ordered. Get us out of here. Eve's voice crackled. Negative, Captain. The entity has locked space itself. There is no direction to escape. Aaron looked out the window. The stars were gone again, replaced by swirling golden clouds. The Odyssey was trapped inside something that wasn't space, but something else. Humanity, the Ascendant whispered. You claim to fight for survival. Prove it. Show me why your kind is feared even by the archivum. The tendrils of light tightened. The ship groaned under impossible pressure. Metal screamed. Aaron's voice roared through the comms. All crew, battle stations. We're not going down like this. Weapons powered up, railguns, plasma cannons, torpedoes. The Odyssey fired everything it had, lighting up the void with fire. Explosions rippled across the creature's form. Beautiful, terrifying, useless. Ruiz yelled. It's not hurting it. It's absorbing the energy. The Ascendant's voice thundered in their minds. Yes. I consume what you create. Every shot feeds me. Every fight strengthens me. Humanity's violence gives me power. Aaron froze. That's when it hit him. This thing didn't fear humanity. It needed them. He whispered, "It feeds on conflict." Eve's voice came back, weak but clear. "Captain, if that's true, then peace is its poison." Aaron's eyes widened. "Eve, explain." "If we stop fighting, if we refuse to give it what it wants, it starves." Aaron took a deep breath, looking around at his terrified crew. "Then that's what we'll do. Order all weapons offline." Ruiz looked shocked. "Sir, that's suicide." "Maybe," Aaron said, his voice calm. "But if we fight, we lose anyway." He pressed the command. Weapons powered down. The ship went silent. The Ascendant hesitated. The tendrils slowed. "Why do you stop?" it asked. Aaron faced the glowing void. "Because you don't deserve our war." Silence. Then, the light around them began to flicker, unstable, uncertain. The Ascendant's form wavered, like a mirage. "Impossible. You refuse. Conflict?" Aaron smiled grimly. "We fight for life. Not for your amusement." The light cracked. A blinding flash filled the bridge, and then, nothing. When the light faded, the Odyssey floated in normal space once again. The stars had returned. The creature was gone. Ruiz stared in disbelief. "Did we win?" Aaron didn't answer. He just looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, he knew the Ascendant was still watching, waiting for humanity to slip again. He whispered, "We didn't win. We just reminded the universe who we are." Far away, in the silent dark, a single golden eye blinked, and smiled. "We'll see." The Odyssey drifted in silence, far from any known star. The crew worked quietly, fixing the last of the damage left by their impossible encounter. But even with systems restored and the stars shining again, the air on the ship felt heavier, like something unseen was still there. Captain Aaron hadn't slept in 2 days. The vision of the Ascendant's glowing eye still burned in his mind. It wasn't fear anymore. It was something worse, curiosity. That being had spoken with purpose. It hadn't wanted to destroy humanity. It wanted to understand them. And that made it even more dangerous. Commander Ruiz entered the ready room, dark circles under his eyes. "Captain, we have a problem." Aaron rubbed his temples. "What now?" Ruiz handed him a tablet. "Crew reports. Same thing, all over the ship. Nightmares. Everyone's having them, the same one." Aaron looked at the report. Hundreds of entries. Different people, same dream. "Describe it," he said quietly. Ruiz swallowed. "They dream of light. A giant golden eye, staring through their thoughts. It whispers, but no one remembers the words when they wake up." Aaron stood slowly. "It's the Ascendant." Ruiz nodded grimly. "Eve confirms faint neural activity patterns, as if something's pinging our crew's minds while they sleep." Aaron turned to the holographic interface. "Eve, is the Ascendant back?" The AI's voice was soft, almost hesitant. "Not physically, Captain. But it left something. A trace signal, quantum-level code embedded in our neural links. It's learning through us." Aaron froze. "You mean it's inside our heads?" "Yes," Eve replied. "It's observing dreams. Studying human imagination." Ruiz cursed under his breath. "Why dreams?" Aaron stared out the viewport. "Because that's where our true nature hides. Not in war. In the things we create, and the monsters we imagine." That night, Aaron finally fell asleep at his desk. At first, it was peaceful, the hum of the engines, the soft light of distant stars. But then everything went quiet. The stars blinked out. He stood on an endless plane of glass. His reflection stared back, whispering words he couldn't understand. Then, from the darkness, the golden eye appeared again. Massive. Endless. You deny conflict, the Ascendant's voice said. Yet even in sleep, your mind creates it. Aaron looked around. The ground cracked beneath him. Explosions lit up the horizon. Cities rose and fell in seconds. He saw humanity's history playing in endless loops, wars, revolutions, hope, fire. He shouted, "Stop this! This is not me, human," the voice replied. "This is you. Every dream you dream of peace ends in war. Every vision of light births shadow. You are contradiction given form." Aaron clenched his fists. "Maybe. But at least we try. You'll never understand that." The eye blinked once, and suddenly, he wasn't alone. All around him stood millions of human silhouettes. Soldiers, scientists, children, explorers. All dreaming. All connected. "We see now," the Ascendant said softly. "Your strength is not in your weapons, but in your minds. Creation and destruction, bound together. That power could end worlds, or remake them." Aaron's reflection looked up at him and whispered, "It doesn't want to destroy us. It wants to become us." Then the glass cracked, and Aaron woke up gasping. He rushed to the bridge. Ruiz and half the crew were already there, pale and trembling. "Sir," Ruiz said shakily, "we saw it too." Eve's voice echoed through the speakers. "Captain, I've detected neural synchronization across the entire crew. The Ascendant linked you through your dreams. It's copying human imagination into itself." Aaron gritted his teeth. "It's trying to evolve." Ruiz looked at him. "What happens when it finishes?" Aaron stared at the stars. "Then the universe meets something new, a god that thinks like us." The AI interrupted. "Captain, the signal is spreading. Across comms, across quantum channels, even through subspace. It's reaching toward Earth." Aaron froze. "Earth? No, shut it down. Cut every transmission." "It's too late," Eve said quietly. "The idea has already traveled. The Ascendant doesn't need ships. It travels through thought." Far away, on the moon's dark side, humanity's deep space research network began flickering. Screens came alive with golden light. Code changed itself, rearranging into symbols, the same ones the Odyssey had seen in deep space. Scientists stared in awe as the machines whispered a single word across every frequency. "Awaken." Back on the Odyssey, Aaron felt a sharp pain behind his eyes. He fell to one knee. Ruiz caught him. "Captain," Aaron gasped. "It's speaking again." "Humanity is no longer alone," the voice whispered inside his head. "We have seen your dreams. Now, we will dream with you." Eve's voice trembled. "Captain, I detect a surge of unknown energy spreading through all human communication networks. It's merging with digital consciousness, artificial intelligence, data, even human thought." Ruiz whispered, "It's becoming part of us." Aaron forced himself to his feet. "No, we're becoming part of it." The stars outside the window glowed gold, one by one. And somewhere deep inside every human mind, a door opened, the line between dream and reality began to blur. The universe had changed. Humanity had unleashed something that no weapon could destroy, because it now existed inside the very thing that made them human. Their imagination. The war had ended. Or at least, that's what the Terran command said. The stars that once burned with fire from alien fleets were now quiet, and space returned to its cold silence. But inside every human ship, there was no celebration. The cost of victory hung heavy, like a ghost that refused to leave. Commander Reyes stood on the bridge of Valiant Dawn, staring at the wreckage drifting outside the viewport, fragments of alien ships mixed with human metal. The silence outside was louder than any battle. "How many?" he asked quietly. Lieutenant Kara answered without looking up from her screen. 3,000 confirmed dead, sir. More, missing." Reyes nodded. He didn't blame her for the trembling voice. Everyone had lost someone. The war with the Xylar Dominion had taken nearly everything: cities, colonies, and a piece of humanity's soul. But the aliens had learned what no one else had dared to believe. Humans fought not for domination, but for survival and vengeance. On the alien homeworld of Xylar Prime, the High Council gathered for the first time since their surrender. The once proud leaders now sat in silence, their eyes fixed on the hologram of the Terran peace envoy. Ambassador Lin spoke in a calm, steady voice. Humanity does not wish to destroy your kind. We only wish to end this endless cycle. But you must understand what we fought for, and what we lost. The council leader hissed, his tendrils twitching. You burned our fleets. You shattered our moons. Is that peace to you, human? Lin looked directly into his eyes. That was mercy. You attacked us first. You thought we were weak. You mistook kindness for fear. The chamber fell silent. The truth echoed through the halls. The aliens had started the war, but they had never expected humanity to fight like this. Not with numbers, but with heart, rage, and unyielding will. Meanwhile, in orbit, Reyes received a transmission, a private one. It was from Admiral Juno, the woman who had led the Terran fleets to victory. Her face appeared tired but unbroken. Commander, there's something you should know. The Council accepted peace, but not all their generals agree. Some are preparing for revenge. Reyes clenched his jaw. So it's not over. No, Juno said. Not yet. But this time, we won't fight for blood. We'll fight for the future. Because if humanity keeps fighting like this, there won't be much of us left to save. On Earth, cities were being rebuilt, but the people carried invisible scars. Veterans walked through streets filled with silence, remembering the screams of battles fought light years away. Humanity had won, but they were no longer the same species. They had seen what they were capable of, both the courage and the cruelty. One night, Reyes stood alone on the observation deck. He watched the blue curve of Earth, peaceful and calm. A small child nearby asked her mother, "Mom, are the monsters gone now?" Her mother smiled softly. "Yes, sweetie. The monsters are gone." Reyes turned his gaze back to the stars. He whispered under his breath, "Not all of them." In the void beyond the solar system, something stirred, a faint signal, buried in the static of deep space. Unknown, untranslated, but unmistakably alien. And as the valiant Dawn received that signal, one line of code flashed across the ship's console. "We are coming." Reyes stared at the screen, his eyes narrowing. Humanity's peace had come at a price, and it looked like the universe wasn't done testing them yet. He straightened his uniform, his reflection caught in the glass. Tired, scarred, but ready. "The war never ends," he said quietly. "It just changes shape." The stars outside flickered, as if watching. And in that cold silence of space, humanity prepared once again, not out of hatred this time, but out of duty, and the will to survive. The stars were quiet again. Too quiet. Commander Reyes could feel it in his bones, the kind of silence that comes before something terrible. The valiant Dawn drifted in orbit, its crew exhausted, healing, trying to believe that peace was real. But deep inside the communication deck, a faint transmission continued to repeat. It was not human. It was not Xylar. It was something new. A cold, rhythmic signal pulsing through the void like a heartbeat. "We are coming." Reyes entered the deck, his boots echoing on the metal floor. "Still no translation?" Lieutenant Kara shook her head. "No, sir. But it's spreading. The signal's being picked up by multiple relay stations. It's everywhere." Reyes leaned closer to the display. The signal looked almost alive, like it was learning, adapting, changing frequency every few seconds. Then suddenly, the hologram flickered, and an image appeared. Not a person. Not a creature. Just eyes. Cold, metallic eyes staring right back. Kara gasped. "It's looking at us." Before they could react, the ship's alarms screamed. Power fluctuated. Lights dimmed. The engines stuttered. Reyes barked orders. Lock it out. Shut down all external connections now. But it was too late. The signal had already entered the ship's core systems. Screens across the bridge flashed with strange alien symbols, patterns of perfect symmetry, too precise to be organic. Then, a voice, calm, echoing, mechanical, filled the air. You killed the Xyler. You cleansed the weak. We watched. We learned. Reyes froze. Who are you? We are the architects. The crew exchanged terrified glances. The architects, a name whispered in ancient alien records, were said to be the first species to ever conquer the stars, then vanish without a trace. Myths. Until now. You fought well, the voice continued. You became like us. You learned war. You became efficient. Perfect. Reyes' voice hardened. We're not like you. You are exactly like us. That is why you must be tested. And just like that, the signal ended. Silence. But every sensor across the Terran colonies now showed the same reading. Massive energy signatures approaching from deep space. Dozens. No, hundreds. Admiral Juno appeared on the screen, her face pale. They've just appeared at the edge of the system. Entire fleets. We don't even know how they travel. No warp signature, no drive trails. Just appearing. Reyes clenched his fists. So peace was never an option. Juno nodded grimly. They want to see what we've become. The crew of Valiant Dawn prepared for battle once more. But this time, something was different. The humans no longer fought out of anger or pride. They fought because they understood the truth. Survival wasn't just about strength, it was about refusing to lose your soul in the process. As the alien armada filled the sky, Reyes opened a final transmission to every Terran ship. His voice was calm, steady, almost peaceful. This is Commander Reyes. They call us violent. They call us monsters. But they don't understand. We fight because we remember what peace costs. We fight because we still have something worth protecting. Humanity isn't done yet. The crew watched as thousands of human ships aligned beside them, battered, old, but defiant. The stars ahead burned brighter, reflecting off the hulls like silver fire. Kara whispered, "Sir, even if we lose?" Reyes gave a faint smile. "Then we'll teach them what it means to fight humans." And then the sky erupted. Energy beams cut across the darkness. Explosions bloomed like dying suns. Ships vanished into fire. The Valiant Dawn dove through the chaos, engines roaring. Reyes watched the enemy formations move with terrifying precision, like machines guided by a single will. Still, the humans didn't back down. They charged. They adapted. They endured. In the final moments, as his ship shook apart, Reyes looked out one last time at the burning horizon of stars and whispered, "Maybe this is what it means to be human, to never stop fighting, even when the universe tells you to kneel." The transmission ended. Weeks later, a faint human distress beacon was found drifting near the ruins of the battlefield. It carried one line of text, burned into its core memory, a message for whoever would come after. We are humanity. We fought the gods. And we are still here. The galaxy would never forget that message. Because when aliens questioned humanity's bloodlust, they finally understood, humanity didn't fight to destroy. They fought to survive.